What is the most integral, psychologically whole type of love like?
Well, I think the essence in many ways of this book is that we're looking for that key word, the whole type of love, an expression of the whole man. And we're talking here about body, senses, emotion, spirit, a love which embraces all the levels of the human personality, so that we know that we are embodied spirits. So when we love, the best love is that which involves all the levels. Okay, so not just spiritual, not just body, but actually the uniting. And so we're talking about intellect, will, spirit, senses, emotion, the physical part of the person. So the most integral kind of love, whole kind of love then, is the whole man. It's when it expresses the whole man. And the second thing, which is really critical and often misunderstood about our work, is that the importance of reason. Love acting in the light of reason. So what we're trying to do is to avoid the kind of love which would have harmful consequences, such as, for example, spoiling is excessive love. It's not rational, okay? That would be an example of something excessive. Another type of love would be superficial love, okay? These are not the kind of loves that act in the light of reason. Reason is not guiding these kinds of love. So Dr. Terruwe throughout her book talks about love that can reasonably restrain itself. It's called, yes, exactly. Restraint. It's the love of restraint, self-restraining love. And it's the kind of love then that can restrain its desires and manifestations at the right time, yet preserve the true, full-bodied emotional and spiritual and intellectual and willful feelings and components of love. Now, we talk a lot about the emotional component of love as counselors because the domain of counselors usually is the emotional. If it's just purely spiritual, then it's usually something for the moralist. If it's purely physical, it usually is the domain of the medical doctor. So that's why we tend to work in the middle levels of man, which is the sensory emotional. You know, we talk about the intellectual and the will, we talk about the physical, but our work tends to be in the healing of that which prevents a person from climbing to higher levels of intellectual and spiritual development, because usually it's the emotional spiritual domain kind of intertwined in the sensory domains that are not properly developed or not balanced, so that they can't even have love guided by reason, because the love stuff is what's messed up. Either they didn't have enough love, it was disrupted, or that they, whatever they have, they hide it, they submerge it so that it can't act in the person. So then love that can restrain itself, that acts in the light of reason, and love which expresses all the dimensions of man. Okay? So I have another question.